Ah, the dreaded hybrid meeting. You know the one I'm talking about. Fuzzy video, audio that cuts in and out, and that feeling that, half the team isn't even really in the room. We've all been there, right? But what if we could actually reinvent that whole experience? Well, today, we're going to look at a roadmap to do just that, to take the boardroom from a place of frustration and turn it into a hub of seamless flow and collaboration. So, let's just get right to it and ask the million-dollar question. Why are so many hybrid meetings, well, just plain bad? It's this universal feeling of being disconnected, and it's funny? The reasons for it are surprisingly consistent, pretty much everywhere you look.
And yep, here they are, the usual suspects. I mean, come on, you're squinting at these tiny, blurry faces on the screen, you're trying to read a presentation that's way too small, and then boom, the second someone shares their screen, all the people just disappear. And don't even get me started on the lighting. It makes everyone look like they're in a witness protection program. You put all that together, and you've got the perfect recipe for a terrible meeting. And look, these aren't just little annoyances. They're real fundamental barriers to actually communicating with each other.
Okay, so how do we start to fix all this? Well, the journey begins with what we're calling better basics. This is really all about tackling the low-hanging fruit. The simple, foundational stuff that can give you a huge improvement without having to do a massive, expensive overhaul.
And what's the single biggest, most impactful thing you can do? It's also the one that gets overlooked the most. Lighting. Just better lighting. I mean, think about it for a second. Your fancy, expensive camera can only capture what it can see. So if it's seeing a dim, shadowy room, that's exactly what your remote team is going to see. Seriously, fixing the light is the absolute, non-negotiable starting point for everything else. All right, so once you've got the lighting sorted, you can start building out the rest of the basics. We're talking about a bigger main display so people can actually, read the content. A really high-quality audio and video bar for crisp sound and a clear picture. And this last one, this one's a game changer, a dedicated content monitor. This is so important because it finally solves that problem of having to choose between seeing the presentation or seeing the people. With this, you get to see both, all the time, crystal clear. Okay, so with the basics handled, we can climb up to the next level of professionalism. And this is where things get really cool. We're moving on to Solution 2, the broadcast cut. Now, this is a concept that's all about making your meeting feel less like a clunky, awkward conference call and way more like a professional, live TV production.
So, what exactly is a broadcast cut? Well, think about when you're watching the news. One anchor finishes talking and the other one starts, right? The camera doesn't do this slow, lazy pan across the studio. No way! It cuts instantly. That's the exact same idea here. You have multiple cameras set up, and the system is smart enough to switch instantly to whoever is speaking, with zero distracting camera movement.
And here's why that matters so much. I mean, the difference is night and day. On one side, you've got that single robotic camera, doing its slow, awkward pans and zooms that just completely break the flow of the conversation. But on the other side, you have the broadcast cut. It's seamless, it's instant, it's professional. It keeps everyone locked in on the discussion, not on the distracting technology.
All right, so we've nailed clarity and we've added a layer of professionalism. What's next? Well, the final piece of the puzzle is all about creating a sense of presence. And that brings us to our third solution, immersive layouts. This is all about making sure you can see everyone and everything all at the same time with zero compromises.
You know this feeling, right? That classic dilemma. Do I make the presentation full screen so I can actually read the numbers on the spreadsheet? Or do I keep the gallery view up so I can see my colleagues' reactions? It's a choice you're constantly forced to make. Well, immersive layouts are designed to make sure you never, ever have to make that choice again. The solution is actually pretty simple and elegant. A multi-screen setup where everything gets its own dedicated home. The main presentation? It's right there, front and center. All your remote participants? They get a full gallery view on one side. And the person who's currently speaking? They're featured on the other side. Nothing gets sacrificed. Nothing is compromised. You have full, constant visibility of both the people and the content. So you can really think of this whole progression as a kind of ladder of innovation. Each step builds right on top of the last one. You start with the better basics to get that foundation of clarity. Then you add the broadcast cut for that professional TV studio feel. And finally, you top it all off with immersive layouts to create a real, genuine sense of presence for every single person.
But what if we could take all of this and combine it into one ultimate, super flexible space? Well, that brings us to what the future looks like, the 2-in-1 ultra-immersive room. And trust me, This isn't just a meeting room anymore. We're talking about a true multi-purpose collaboration hub. Yeah, this is where the boardroom itself becomes dynamic. It becomes a bit of a transformer. I want you to just imagine a space that can physically change to perfectly match the kind of meeting you need to have right now, shifting from a classic in-person setup to a high-stakes global video conference, just like that.
And the concept is actually beautifully simple. For most of your day-to-day meetings, it's just a normal boardroom, with a big table in the middle. But for those really critical virtual calls, everybody just turns their chairs to face the main technology wall. And that simple action activates this full, multi-screen, totally immersive telepresence experience. It's one room, but with two completely distinct and super powerful modes.
The folks behind this idea have the perfect analogy for it. They say it's like a crossover vehicle, a car that's a sedan, but it's also a 4x4. It gives you the comfort of a sedan for your daily commute, but it can instantly transform into a rugged 4x4 when you need it. This room, it offers that exact same kind of dual-purpose power.
And let's be really clear about the ambition here, because it's huge. The goal of this ultimate setup isn't just to have a slightly better meeting. No. It's to create an experience that is so rich, so immersive, and so effective that it can genuinely, truly replace the need for business travel in a lot of cases. When you boil it all down, all of this amazing technology serves one single mission: to completely revolutionize how people meet. The whole point is to get as close as humanly possible to that feeling of actually being in the same room, meeting face to face.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If your meeting room wasn't just a room, but was actually a strategic tool, what would you build? What could you accomplish?